Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another show, another Sunday show. How Steve says it, what is it like?
Sometimes.
Sometimes maybe. uh, what's up, Don? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Not too bad. It's weekends go by fast, man. I used to have 3-day weekends every weekend, and
Well, look at
now
you.
now I'm back on the regular schedule, and it goes by too fast.
You back on the peon schedule like
Yeah,
the rest of
the
us.
peon schedule, the normal schedule, 2 days a week. So it's been going
I
like
didn't
super
even have
fast.
that, so
Yeah.
lucky you on that one.
Well, I travel a lot for work too, so it's like, that's the even suckier part because um, I drive normally like the last few weeks I've been driving about 5 hours every weekend back and
Jeez.
forth to work. So, that's why I stay in hotels or whatever. And man, that traffic through Fort Worth and all the traffic sucks, man. So
So is all your travel with like driving?
yeah, it's driving. So
Jeez, man. I hate
I
driving.
mean, it is what it is. Like I get paid more to do that.
Yeah,
I can be at the home. I could be at the home out the house more, but I just money's money. So um, I just calculated the other day. I was like, so if I'm only home 2 days a week, I'm only really home like eight days out of the month. So yeah, it's
that's a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So
Yeah,
but
man. I travel a lot too, but mostly mine is by plane.
yeah, mine's within the state, but I mean it's a big ass state too. So
Yeah,
and I've been lucky like the last few months, like I haven't had to travel that far. It's been maybe like 2 hours and some change. But when we go to a different location, it's like further away, which is like 5 hours up into the panhandle.
that's
So
why it was so easy for you to drive and get that Sentinel. It was like nothing for you
yeah,
because
I
you're
mean,
already used to that
I'm
drive.
used to driving. It still sucks.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna say hi to everybody that's in the chat right now. Vega was talking shit earlier, trying to tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do, Vega. I started a minute late just to spite you.
Hold on, I think I missed it. What did he tell you to do?
He says T-minus 17 minutes. Don't screw this up, Robert. And he used my government name. How dare you?
Government name.
Yeah. Gabriel, what's up, man? Half-Day Customs, what's up? Jojo, what's up, man? John, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey, John, if you want to hop on, just let me know. I'll send you a link. I know, this is not your thing, but you're more than welcome to hop on or whatever. So
John doesn't get on shows before 11 p.m.
I noticed that, man. He's got a crazy schedule. He's always up late. What's up, Grifter? But yeah. So like I said, real quick, I just wanted to talk about last show we talked about stuff that we hated about like customs, and I did that on purpose just because we have a custom show, so I did that one first. And we came up with some good things. There are things that we hate about customs, even though for me, that's mostly what I collect. But what are some things that we hate about licensed statues?
Ooh, that list could be long.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, that list could be long.
What,
I'll let you kick it off.
You let me kick it off.
I kicked off the last one.
So one of the things that I personally hate about licensed pieces would be the lack of creativity. And that's when comparing it to customs. And I know there are some stuff that they knock out of the park, but I think custom pieces go out on a limb more, because they can do whatever they want, basically. They don't have to get it past some people or Marvel or Disney or whoever that's going to do this approval stuff. So they can do a little bit more stuff. And, sometimes that comes out to some of the statues just being bland, or like the bases are copied after, like X-Men, for instance. It's always a Sentinel base,
Or Danger Room.
or Danger Room. So what do you think about that?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I just feel like with licensed pieces, they've gotten, like you said, like really boring. Sideshow has tried to like innovate and do different things.
I'm really digging what Sideshow's been doing.
I know,
I'm really
I have
digging it.
too, right? They've been stepping out on the limb, as totally different from what they're used to doing.
Yeah.
And even though I wouldn't necessarily buy all of the pieces that they've been doing, but I do commend them for like trying to do something different.
Yeah.
I mean, I know licensed companies are bound by, more of the rules and regulations. Just like with the Spider-Man, like Jay is waiting for approval just to get like an unmasked portrait,
Yeah.
which seems kind of crazy because I'm like, it's not anything that's unorthodox.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
Scott,
How crazy is that? Like,
that's crazy, man. I'm like, I could see if, it was something wild, but it's just an unmasked
unmasked
portrait.
portrait. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty much. It sounds like it's pretty much like set in stone. It's just he still
Yeah.
had to go through the process.
Right.
That's just crazy. I mean, it's not like it's blood or a dead body or
Right. Exactly.
a gun or something crazy like
It's
that. So
exactly, man. I don't get that whole part of it. I feel like unless licensed companies start to like innovate even more, then I think like the custom game it could eventually eclipse most
Yeah.
of it,
it's that stagnant, like like you see a lot of the same things over and over again. So when you do something in the licensed world that is like abnormal, you either get two things. You get this is the best thing ever, or hate because it's something different. You get those two reactions off the bat. For instance, PCS's Hulk. I know people are complaining about it's not a bust.
Oh,
it's so the PCS Hulk head. People were nitpicking about that, but
the head on the stick.
Yeah, but that's something different. All the stuff that they were doing with those dioramas, and I know people, it's too busy and this is not, but it's something different.
So all I've heard people say is it's too busy or too much money.
Yeah, that one is particularly, but
yeah, that one
to me it looks great. Like I don't know.
Man, I think that piece is phenomenal. Like I wouldn't necessarily. Well, maybe I would buy it. I don't know. I think it's too much money. It doesn't really go with my collection. But
good thing about PCS though, you won't see it for like 4 or 5 years. So
exactly. And when it comes out, it's going to have all kinds of QC issues. They're going to have to take it back, start it over, just like they did with that Storm and all that other shit.
But to go on to our other topic that we had talked about a second ago about pushing the boundaries and like getting approved, the Silver Surfer that was on that statue originally when they did the mock-up. There's a Silver Surfer. There's a picture out there that the Couture brothers did, that they did like they drew the picture before, like they did with the Deadpool. They drew it originally with the Silver Surfer coming out of like the front part of the whole
thing, like a voice box. People
no, it was like right next to it. It was like right next to it. But there was a Silver Surfer coming out of it, and I guess for whatever reason it got denied or whatever, so they didn't add it to the statue.
I'm not like me being not really like a huge comic guy. So educate me. What does Silver Surfer have to do with Hulk?
So in the story, he was actually on the planet. So Hulk originally, they sent him into space to help at it was like basically like a space mission, and the Fantastic Four and Avengers sent him in this space shuttle to go, help somebody out or whatever. But it was like kind of like a trap, and they sent him off to try and put him on a different planet, like a peaceful planet to just give him his own thing. Yeah. But something went wrong, and the space shuttle went through a wormhole or something like that, and it crash landed on a planet, right? And the planet had like gladiatorial games, and one of the people that he fought in those games, that's where Gladiator Hulk came from. And one of the people that he fought was Silver Surfer. They had captured him, and they made them two fight. It wasn't like a big part of the story, but it was enough to where people wanted to see it on the statue, I think.
Yeah, because I'm like, what does that have to do? I don't even think I saw the photo you're talking about with the Silver Surfer coming out.
Yeah, I'd have to show it to you, but it was a picture going around, like kind of like the Deadpool picture that's been floating around. It was like that.
The Deadpool one has not been getting love.
No, it's just like I said, it's something different. I want to see the whole thing before I make a judgment on it. Like, I didn't care for the Hulk one either when I first saw it, but then I saw videos of it and everything, and it looked really, really good. So.
I saw that Hulk thing at San Diego, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
If they can replicate that, they'll be onto something.
Yeah, for sure.
What's up, guys? What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. How's your day going?
Yeah. It's 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 going all right. Little kids and family dropped little stuff in my lap last second, but a little ripping and running
Gotcha.
type day. Had a good brunch.
Where'd you go?
So at home, man. I made
Oh, at home.
yeah, man. I racked out this morning, man. Made blueberry pancakes, sausage, bacon, grits, eggs.
I'm mad.
Fried,
I'm mad I didn't come over.
Right.
I know, right? And I had some fried apples. You ever had fried apples?
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
have.
I don't think I've ever had any fried apples before.
Wait, did you actually
Oh,
make
man.
this or somebody else made it?
Oh, bro, I made it. Dude, I'm a wizard in the kitchen, man. Look, hey, Dryhead, tell them when you got kids, you gotta.
Oh yeah, I mean,
We can't see his face right now, so
well, he's probably sitting on the couch with his like top button unbuckled and everything, just sitting there from this morning, probably. So
Yeah, I just
see that.
yeah, I just got me pretty good.
But yeah, so
So.
we were talking about it earlier. Since the last show was, what we hated or what we disliked about custom statues, I decided to flip it on its head and talk about licensed pieces and what we don't like necessarily about licensed pieces. Like, there's some stuff out there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is there something
Yeah,
that particularly you can think about that you don't care for about licensed pieces?
Let me see. Just right off the top of my head. Well, I mean, it's just like anything else. I don't know. I guess the thing I don't necessarily care about licensed pieces is when they have. I guess it's ESs, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm a big stickler for ES.
Yeah.
And I think, and I think you see with Sideshow, right? Sideshow has now gone back to
Smaller ESs.
these smaller ESs. When you have a licensed piece, it's like 4,000, 5,000 pieces. That's kind of a little, that's much. But now you see Sideshow, but this recent one came out. What 100? The Batman was 100. The
limited edition one. Yeah.
Yeah, the limited edition is 100 ES. What's that Captain? I don't watch the show. This does Star
Rex.
Wars. Yeah, Captain Rex. You know what I mean? So I think they're coming back to that, which I think is a good thing. Licensed pieces, I think the PO thing is kind of. That's a little frustrating because they just basically wanted to get the capital to get the project going, right? Which is kind of like what customs do as well.
They just do it on a bigger scale.
But I don't think that's. Yeah, they do it on a bigger scale, and I think they already have the capital to watch to see what happens before they decide their ES.
Yeah, for sure.
You follow me?
They're
I think
huge
with
companies.
customs. Exactly, and I think with customs, we don't get to make that decision. We've got this many buy-in. We got to go for it. That's what we've got, and we're gonna stick with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Matt, let me ask you, right?
I know. Me and you had talked about before a long time ago about the ES situation. I've always agreed with that because like the collector in me, I know there's a lot of people out there like, oh, ES doesn't matter and blah blah blah, but to me it matters. I've always wanted a collection that doesn't match other people's. Like when I look at Dion's collection or your collection or somebody else's, I'm like, oh, I have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather be different, man. Like I want something that is limited, that doesn't not a lot of people have. But that's just me. That's my collector, inside me that, I don't want a lot of stuff that everybody else has, I guess.
You say that about my collection because you stalk everything out.
No, bro. Hold on. What'd you pick up? What'd you just pick up?
Man,
No.
So wait, bringing that damn box in the house, right? Like I don't even have nails.
What'd you just pick up? What'd you just pick up, man?
He's got you. He's got you down. He's got you.
okay, you had it first, but you already knew I wanted it. So
I will say, Dion, though, I am proud of my little X-Men collector. He's finally growing up.
man, bringing that box in the house. So like, I don't even have nails because I bite them. But whatever little nail that I had, like I damn near bent it like all the way back. So my finger was bleeding. The box was heavy as shit.
Oh man.
I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it in
Wow.
the garage.
When are you gonna put it together?
I don't know. John wants me to do a like a live boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to do it, but with the struggles that I've already had, I'm like, do I want to go down that road?
Question for you:
Yeah.
Do you have an extra person to help you?
No, my son just went to college, so now I have nobody.
So I will tell you, putting one piece of that statue together, the legs on the base, you're
Yeah.
gonna need a person to help you.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
like when I did it off screen. My wife helped me out. She
Shit.
she
Okay.
held one leg and I put the other one in the base. And the
Well, the live boxing is
body.
out then. If
Yeah,
that's the
so
case.
you really need a second person to help you put the legs on. Once that happens,
You have to put the torso on top of both of them or something.
yeah, basically. So you put the base down, and then you put the one leg in the torso, and then you
Mhm.
put the other leg in the base, and you kind of like join them all together at one time.
That's how Grimlock was, where
Yeah.
both legs fit in top of the torso. I mean,
Yeah, so it's I don't know if it's manageable with one person. I just seen everybody that I've watched videos of do it with multiple people, so that's how I did it. So
I may as well do the same thing.
yeah, so you probably better off to do it with somebody else.
I'm gonna
if you can.
tell Steve come over, but
Yeah, he's busy. He's busy.
He's busy right
He's,
now.
it's supposed to be what bros before hoes, but he's got it flipped around. So
He's got it flipped around.
But
But yeah, man.
yeah, so but like,
Um,
go ahead, Matt.
No, as well as two things. One, I know Diane was going to ask a question a minute ago, but just the ES thing. You know, I'm gonna call out the people who say they don't care about ES. I call them out. You know, I know that they might say, "Oh, I don't care." You know, I've said this plenty of times. You might not care what number you have, but I guarantee you, ES is relevant because it's relevant to the rarity of the piece, and it's relevant to the cost of the piece.
Yeah.
And when people say I don't care about ES, they're saying I don't care about the money of it. I don't care how hard it is to get. I don't care none of that stuff. And I just don't buy that. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're a collector, you know, yeah, I don't care what number I get. It'd be cool to get, you know, number one, or it'd be cool to get, you know, number 300. If it's the, you know, it's the ES of 300, it's cool. But I don't really care about that.
So
But
to me, that makes a difference between
it's relevant.
if you're a collector or if you just buy cool stuff that looks good.
Casual.
Yeah.
Right. Bingo. You nailed it. You nailed. And but then again, that goes to the ES of 4,500. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just buy cool stuff. I don't care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that you put that in perspective like that.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, to me, like
Right.
I said, to me, my collector mindset says I'm trying to collect something special, or, you know, it's not even in monetary value. It's just because I don't want to see something that I have in somebody else's collection and then match my collection to a T, you know, Diane. So
No, hey, you know what? You're right. Another hobby of mine is, well, it's not as a profession, but is like, say, saltwater aquariums or something like that, or fish tanks or something like that. Do you want to have a fish tank that has a goldfish in it, or do you want something that's rare and exotic from Australia? You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things.
That I can dunk somebody in when they're, you know, giving me grief. I can just like, hey, you want the smoke? I'm going to throw you in this piranha, and you're going to eat you. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So Matt, have you ever? Is there a piece that you've ever wanted that you did not get because of the ES, or something? You
ES being high or ES being low?
Both.
ES being high or ES being low?
But I meant high, but I mean,
okay.
Really, I guess.
So if there was a piece I didn't get because the ES was low, it's because I didn't have the money to get it at the time when it was able to do it, right?
Okay.
Which would be like, dang, I hate that because now I know I'm gonna have to pay aftermarket, whatever. But it is what it is. It's just one thing I've learned is you got to go at your own pace in this hobby, right?
Yeah.
a piece that I didn't get that had a high ES that I wanted to get, and I probably will get it at some point. The Vader Mythos, the second one, right? Batman Dark Knight.
And what's crazy about that one though, it was a high ES too, and it sold out. I don't know if it's batches still.
Yeah, but I think it's sold out. I think that first batch has sold out. I guarantee. I have a feeling it's going to come back. Right. I'm not buying the fact that 11,000 sold out.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you we'll see it again next year.
Real quick, I'm going to go in the chat and see what people are saying about ES because people are saying some stuff. So A Plus says it does matter because if the ES is high, we can just wait. And then if the ES is low,
exactly. Right. So to Diane, to answer your question, I had both the Batman Dark Knight and Vader Mythos, the second one, on pre-order. I let it go because when the ES came out, I was like, I'll get it later. I'm not sweating this thing.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
So it's not that you didn't want it. You just felt like you could maybe get it on seconds or whatever else. Maybe later.
I had the opportunity. That money that I had for that, I had the opportunity to get another piece that I wanted to get that was rare that had a low ES, and when that opportunity pops up, you know what I mean.
It was more
you move on that as opposed to,
I guess.
Yeah, and it's not a piece that's a piece I know is going to be around, right? The piece like my Omega Red. Yeah, I could get it. But if I had the opportunity, the window to buy either the Vader Mythos or that Omega Red, which one do you think I'm going to pick?
You know
what I mean?
For sure.
That Omega Red still commands what I feel is way too much money on the aftermarket.
I mean, you can get them now between 15 and 2.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it at 15. I've seen it at 2 and above.
I bought mine at 15. So
you always get kind of deals, man. I don't know when you
really. You think that's too much for that? You think that's too much for that piece, though?
I don't think it's too much for that piece.
I mean, no, think about
it came out originally 12, between 12 and 15 something plus shipping. So
plus shipping. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so you're probably looking at 1,500. So if you can get that for $2,000, I mean, and it's a sought after piece, I don't think that's too much.
I haven't seen it below 2,500.
Yeah.
So
when I put up for sale, it was 2K, and people were complaining about the price on it.
No, I mean 2K. I mean we pay 2K now for stuff.
Yeah. So and I think that was shipped too. I think it was 2K that I put it up.
No, see, 2K shipped is fine. 2K not including shipping, I think is too much.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a sought after piece. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something that I think is worth it.
But so it's just one of those deals.
Yeah. Vegas.
Well, like I said, but that goes to the question of which feature you want.
Vegas says the ES does not ever keep me from making any purchasing decisions. It can influence the timing in which I put money towards it. High ES plus piece I like equals buy. Low ES plus piece I don't like equals no buy. Well, that's your problem, Vegas. You're not a collector then.
You're saying he's in the category of I just like cool shit.
I just like cool stuff. That's what Vegas saying.
I feel what he's saying. Like it sounds like he's saying like he just buys whatever he loves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like for me, I want to make sure that what I'm buying is going to hold some kind of a value.
Yeah.
That was actually market's already shit.
That was actually my next topic. Is licensed value. It seems like licensed pieces go down in value more than custom pieces do. Not always the case.
Mostly.
But mostly like sideshow stuff, you'll buy it at $800 and next thing you know, you're selling it for like 3 or 4.
Correct.
So that's another thing to do with, high ESs. So it kind of goes hand in hand. You've got the market that's flooded with like, 2000 whatever Wolverines that they came out with a while back. You're not gonna get what you paid for that.
No, never.
So, but that Omega Red that Matt was talking about, because it's a sought after piece and it's got such low ES comparatively, guess what? now you can charge more for that statue. And I know
Yeah, it's like
that's
that's
not what it's about.
more,
But yeah.
right? I mean, that's more than what he paid for it.
Yeah, you're gonna either stay at the value of what you bought it for, or it's
Mhm.
gonna go up. Not every
Right.
custom is that way, but there are a lot of customs out there that do that. Because
Yeah, it's more often
small
that a
yield.
licensed piece will, like you said, loses value than a custom piece. I
Yeah.
will agree with that.
And I think that's what a lot of people coming from the licensed community into the custom world, they think that because the ES doesn't matter. But in the custom world, it does, because it's a smaller scale. Like, they don't make as many, and they ended up either retaining value more, or they go up in value. So
But also, too, the difference though is that with a licensed piece, once they put it out there, like they'll start production and shipping it before it even sells out, so people don't have an urgency
yeah,
to purchase it, which hurts the value. But when a custom piece comes out, that thing is sold out long before,
nine times out of 10,
yeah.
it's slowed down lately. But the really cool stuff,
hmm
it sells out instantly.
Like, look at that Doom, the God Doom
Yeah,
on
I've got
Throne.
I've got pictures of it coming up, but you're right. It sold out in, like, I think 2 days or something like that.
Yeah, because I would have bought it, but
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
the green. I want a copy off. You still keep our collections the same, get the white one.
Whatever you do, you could get the green one and repaint it white. Just saying.
Okay, that's a good point. But
But yeah, like, to me, that kind of goes hand in hand. The ES, and there's a reason why in the aftermarket some of these statues aren't holding its value, because there's just so many of them. Why would you pay more or equal to what you paid for originally? That was
but
going.
something to dive a little deeper into that whole thing is like Prime One and J&D or whoever else, their pieces on the aftermarket hold more value than sideshows. And it's not always because they have a low ES. Sometimes Prime One pieces, as of late, have ESs like Sideshow because they've lowered them.
Yeah.
And still, you will find a comparable Prime One piece hold its value way more than a Sideshow piece of a similar nature.
That's another thing too. I've noticed, like, the 1/3 pieces
Mhm.
don't hold value a lot most of the
Which is
time.
why they stopped.
Yeah.
Slow down making them, I guess.
So there are certain ones that hold value. Superman Hush, maybe Deathstroke. There's a couple of 1/3 out there that hold value. But look at that Magneto from LBS.
Man, I was
that's-
going to say that.
That's a badass Magneto, right? But look what it just go. I could have got that statue several times already for $1,200, $1,400.
Mhm.
A 1/3 statue, and that was shipped. I could have got that.
Spec actually has it for $1,000
Yeah,
plus shipping right now.
So
that's nuts, dude.
why do you think that is?
Because people don't
Yeah,
collect one.
Why do you think that is?
It's a niche.
Right.
It's a niche size.
Right.
People don't. The majority of people
I
don't
buy
collect.
cool stuff. I
Yeah.
buy cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they realize once they have it, they've got this big box, they got this big thing, I guess you're limited to how many pieces you can get, I guess, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to ask 1/3 collectors who've had to sell their pieces or who have sold their pieces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It takes up more space. The shipping is more. Like you said, you got to find place for the box.
It's just crazy too. Like, I mean, this Magneto on Throne that I have, right? It's not your average quarter scale, but it's massive for a quarter scale. Like, it's ridiculous. And that's a quarter scale. They couldn't do stuff like that on a third scale. Like, I can imagine, something that massive third scale wise. Like
Custom. What do you call it? The Spider-Man that looks like the XM pieces, where they have all the villains and stuff. Art.
Oh,
had
yeah.
it. DT had it. That's on one. What is that? What is that? That's not 1/3, or is it 1/4?
It's 1/4. It's quarter
It's
scale.
1/4.
Yeah,
So
but it's
even
got-
at 1/4, something like that has engineering problems out the ass.
Yeah.
Imagine if something like that was 1/3, it would be impossible to even do it.
Yeah. And it goes back to our other point we were talking about earlier about custom companies are able to do more stuff outside the box. What license companies do you see doing something like that? Putting, there are XM has done it, but they've only done it at 1/6 scale. Like when you see their big dioramas that they do, It's always a 1/6. They don't do quarter scale, something that big. They've got the Sentinel diorama. They've got the JLA, Justice League versus Darkseid diorama. And then they've got their Batman Sanity and all those ones, but they're all smaller sizes. There's no companies out there doing statues.
Like 1/4 or 1/3.
Yeah. I could.
So
could you imagine 1/3 one of those?
So do you think that's the reason? Let me ask you a question here. Why do you think licensed companies don't go outside the box? Do you think it's because, one, they don't know if they'll be able to sell the product to be profitable, or two, they can't get approval from the licensure?
I think that's both. I think both of those things, because and on top of that too, the R&D that goes into it, the trying to design something, they don't want to spend the time doing it when they can just push something out and make money off it. Here's your 15th Batman for the year, standing there on a gargoyle. Cool. Here, take it. And it sells. That stuff sells. And I mean, I'm right. The stuff sells.
Yeah, no.
But if they do something off the wall, they've got to go through a process, and they might get shut down. Oh well, I don't want Batman doing that.
So they want the sure bet. They want the sure money.
Yeah.
Basically.
How many off the top of my head, and this is just thinking like within the last like minute or so, how many Batman statues do we have where he's doing like investigating? Where he's doing he could be in a lab trying to figure out like a chemical or something like that.
Oh,
You don't see it. You don't see. Yeah. With how many Batman statues are out there, you don't see him doing any kind of investigation work. Like imagine him leaned over a crime scene and he's like kind of like pondering, or he's leaned over.
But
you don't see that.
Even like in the video game realm, there's a ton of Batman games, but outside of the Arkham games, I don't recall a Batman video game where he does any kind of investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, either.
So
even the movies, the recent one with Robert Pattinson, I think is the first one that they really dove into like some of the investigative part of it.
Yeah.
But they kind of leave that as like an afterthought.
And that's a big part of the character too. He's known as the detective.
It's prep time. Yeah. Detective.
But then on top of that too, us as collectors too, if we see anything different, we complain about it, and people don't buy it. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. It kind of running around in circles. People want to see something different. Then when something different comes out, I don't want it. So.
True. That is true.
I mean, look at the Beast. Look at the Beast that Sideshow just came out with. Look how many people that were in the comments saying, "I want Beast," being ferocious and attacking and whatever. But when it comes down to it, Beast is not normally that way. He has done that before, but he's normally just a scientist. He's in the lab, or he's reading a book or something.
So the concept of that piece is amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's just the execution is what's leaving a little bit to desire, I guess.
What were you saying, Matt?
No, I was losing you guys there for a minute. Connection. So on a, we were talking about this on BBC last night. With all the, you bring up Batman about all the Batmans that are out there.
I don't know who BBC is, so I'm just gonna have to go along with what you're saying, because.
Edit that part out. I don't know
so all, okay, so all the Batman that are out there, is there a definitive Batman? Because I think because there's so many out there, there really isn't.
There's not.
In my opinion, the definitive Batman is the White Knight on Batcycle.
But and that's yours. But I guarantee there's like 15 other people that have 15 different.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Most people will probably say that's Detective 1000.
Detective 1000.
Yeah.
But before that one, there was Hush. Hush was like the big guy on the block. Then Detective 1000 came out.
And Sideshow Lightning Bolt one.
Yeah. Then there's the one where he's holding the
rifle.
The rifle one from Prime 1. People love that one too.
Yeah, it's hard because there's so many. I think I don't know. For me, I said the original, the OG premium format. You know what I mean? From Sideshow. But like you said, everybody's gonna have their own opinion. But I think I should have thought about this, was the Shogun on a horse. I think that's a pretty good one. I don't know if it's definitive because it's not Batman per se.
I say that's art.
For a statue perspective.
I say that's
exactly.
Art. You know, it's a definitive art piece.
Yeah,
it's not the definitive.
There you go.
It's not the definitive Batman. You get what I'm saying? Like,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah, right. And that's a piece anybody could have, even if they don't even know anything about comic books or movies or anything like that. You can see that somewhere in somebody's house or museum or something like that, and just look at that as artwork.
Like, I can see the sanity in people's houses that don't collect statues. You know what I mean? Just because it's like an artistic piece.
Like, if I walked in somebody's house and I saw, the Batman Shogun, like in their walkway or something like that, I'm like, oh, you fancy, like,
exactly.
Like it's art, it's not necessarily the definitive of that character, but it is art. It looks gorgeous, so
right. It may have nothing to do with the statue collector, but it is art. I agree.
Right.
So, I don't think that's a lot of people's definitive, but you can't deny it's one of the top XM pieces out there. What's up, Critical Mass?
And I think that's pretty hard, and I think that's the thing, especially with Batman in particular. Like, a definitive Superman statue's Hush, right? We know that. I think Storm, that's a definitive statue, right?
Yeah. XM Ghost Rider.
Yeah, Ghost Rider. Although I kind of like the custom on the horse, really. But I think Magneto, XM's Magneto, is a pretty good one.
The Sentinel one, or
on the throne. Yeah, so where he's got the Sentinel throne.
I don't know, man. There's been too many good custom ones, man. Like, and there's one coming out that's going to blow that one out of the water. So I just don't. As far as Magneto goes, there's just too many of that character to be like, well, that's the definitive.
But you notice the trend,
I guess so.
Maybe licensed, but even then, the LBS Magneto could give it a run. And I mean, I don't know. I just don't see that as the definitive.
The trend that we're all saying right now, especially you, Matt, the trend is the definitive statue that we're picking out of different characters. Not one of them has been the custom version, which is strange, with so many customs on the market.
But I can pick definitive.
I don't know. I mean, I would go the Wendigo Wolverine.
The what?
Wendigo Wolverine. Phase. What is it?
Phase. I forget. Is it 3 or 4? The one where he's standing over Wendigo.
You know what I'm talking about? He's standing over Wendigo. He's like dead. Wendigo's dead.
I think there's plenty of definitive customs out there. I just think as far as license go, they don't like to compare the two. We do it because we collect customs, and we're like, oh man, that statue is better than that license. But people on the license end, they don't do that. They don't flip it around and say, oh well, it's
no, they don't.
It's comparable or better. Like this Magneto on Throne, bro. That's way better than the XM one that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Easily.
I've seen several Black Panthers better than any licensed Black Panther. Magnetos, there's like 50,000 Magnetos that are better than any licensed.
Magneto is like the exception to the rule of most of the customs, like blowing the license out the water.
Oh, I mean, I can keep going. Omega Red, there's the custom Omega Red. All the Wolverines that are out there that are better than, it just, I can name keep going and going, but people don't do that, vice versa. They don't consider, oh, it's a custom piece. It's the top dog. It's got to be licensed. So
do you think they say that right? Do you think they say that because they're loyalty to licensed pieces and they think that customs are like, oh, well, that's just a bootleg? Or do you think or do they want to admit the fact that it's a better piece?
I think it's part of it. But there are those pieces that nothing in the custom world is beat either. Look at Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster is an amazing piece. I don't think it's ever going to get beat by You know, there was a custom one that got made, but that didn't beat it. There's a custom Sentinel coming out, but that ain't gonna beat the XM Sentinel, I don't think. So there's certain pieces out there that are the staples, whether it's custom or licensed, I think. But there's a lot of custom pieces that I don't think that get their due. There's a lot of custom pieces out there that that are better. They're just better than the license. Like I was talking about with that new Magneto coming out with Steve.
Oh
I was like,
God.
Steve, what? You know, that's a cool Magneto, but there's like, it's not. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything to impress. It's doing stuff that several Magnetos before it have done in the custom world, of course. But there's people that just don't want to touch the custom stuff for whatever reason. So
Name a custom Batman that has impressed to that degree, though.
that's what I'm saying. There's certain pieces that are out there that are better in the licensed. So
I don't
like
even know a custom Batman statue.
custom Batman. Oh, there's the one where he's, I don't know if you've seen this one, but he's got all the scars on his back.
I have seen that one.
I love that statue.
See, to me, that's just, if you take away the companion piece, what's the word I'm looking for? The piece that stands aside with his cowl and stuff.
The cloak
Yeah, if you take that part of it away, it's just a man with bandages on his back.
But you know when you add that stuff into it and you look at that piece, you
Man,
get
if
it.
you
get
saw
it.
him standing there in somebody's corner without that cowl, you would be like, well, who's this guy with bandages on his back?
But it doesn't matter, because the cowl comes with it, so it's part of the statue. So you're saying if that take it away, it doesn't matter. The sculpt on it is immaculate, and I think people that have got it painted, it's a dope statue, and you get it. There's feeling behind that statue, just like that new one that's coming out with him over his kid, like when he was a kid. There's a custom one.
Nice.
There's
That's
a custom one, and there's a licensed one that are doing the same thing, and they're looking over himself when he was a kid. And not to mention that new like cartoony one with the Batman, and he's staring at
where
the
he's looking through the glass or
Yeah.
whatever. That's
It-
nice too.
that conveys feeling. You know,
Yeah.
not a lot of statues do that. There's not a lot of statues that convey. You can feel the emotion. The symbiote Spider-Man from Sideshow, when he's like hunched over and it's all dark and he's moody and brooding, that expresses feeling. Like not a lot of statues do that. You know,
I mean, that's true. I'm looking around like, what statues convey feeling in here?
yeah. So to me, that's art. When you can do that to a statue, and you can look at it and say, man, you know what's going through his mind, or you just it gets you thinking about the stories that he's been in, or like that Batman one you were just talking about. When I look at that statue, I'm thinking about all the people he's fought, all the stories that's, you know. So to me that's like one of the ultimate things that you can do if you can get feeling out of your statue.
No, I mean, you're right. If you look at it on a deeper level, maybe I'm just a DC hater. I don't know. But it didn't invoke any. It didn't invoke any feelings in me until you just said that. But
Yeah.
no, I get where you're coming from with it.
Like I said, I appreciate that kind of stuff when I look at it like a statue. The Wolverine that Matt was talking about, to me, it conveys feelings that he just whooped that dude's ass. Like you can see it in his face that, you know, what just happened. I appreciate statues that do that convey, yes, feelings as Ryan
Maestro
said.
conveys a feeling.
Yeah. So I don't know. I appreciate when they can tell a story just from the sculpt itself.
Yeah.
When they can just tell that whole story that you're looking at it, not with a story base, but just staring at the sculpt itself.
Yeah, you don't think Maestro does that?
Mm,
Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
It does, but it has all that other stuff that helps convey the story.
So
You get
even
what
if
I'm
you
saying?
have version A, with him just sitting like this, like just thinking,
Contemplating.
yeah, like that's,
Yeah, it does for sure. It does.
yeah.
I
And
just don't
that
think
piece is like a contemplation of victory.
yeah.
Really, that's how I see it.
Speaking of contemplation, the Vader, the old school Vader one where he's staring at his helmet, you know,
Yep.
that conveys feelings. There's, you know,
Yep.
there's a reason why that one was so sought after for so long, and I think that's part of it is because when you look at that piece, you can think of the whole story of Star Wars. You know,
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
it's all right there. You know,
Right.
So
Well, that's one of the things. Like for me, I guess when I look at my collection, I don't have that many museum poses of statues.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I
that's,
don't
I
either.
guess that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason why is I want my statue to tell a story or to have some feeling in it, you know, to understand it. I guess with someone when you look at it.
So the
Yeah.
LBS pieces, then I guess you would want no parts of those, right?
No, because so you know, I guess you have there's some that like are maybe I guess there's two types of mindsets of collecting, right? Like what we're talking about is you want a piece that conveys feeling or conveys some sort of storyline. Then you have got people who just want to have the collection. Like I want to get all the I think it's cool to have the Justice League. Oh, whoa! What? Do you see that? No.
No,
I think
didn't
it's
see
cool.
it.
No,
Tell us what we missed.
Yeah.
What
What happened? What happened? We want to know.
Batmobile just drove by me. The OG Batmobile.
Sweet.
What?
If you want me to turn around and get it, I can get it for you on the street. But I won't. Anyway, sorry about that. Some guys like you remember how the Justice League, right? Exactly. How the Justice League would have like at the beginning of the monologue, all the original seven standing there.
Yeah.
So some people want to recreate that scene, right? And that's a museum pose. And some people just want to collect the characters just to have them all in the museum pose for that, just as a representation of the character. But yet it's not really telling a story. You know what I mean? It's just, it's there. It's like, you know.
But that's art though, I think. If, like you said, like what I was saying earlier, if you can tell a story, like if you don't even have to put the base on there, like storytelling base, if you can look at that statue and it tells the whole story, that's art right there to me. Another statue, that Magneto that I want, Diane, that the one I like so much from you, the
Daniel Bell.
Yeah, Daniel Bell.
Yeah.
That tells a story because he's in the concentration camp and he's pissed off. Like you can tell there's a story there, you know?
Right. I agree.
Yeah, but I don't think you can get that from a museum pose, right? The only thing you get from a museum pose is the character, right?
Depends on what you consider a museum pose. So statue just standing there. Okay, so prime example, Batman Sanity. He's just standing there. Is that a museum pose? But it conveys feeling.
It's Sanity, you said?
Sanity.
Yeah, which Sanity are you talking about?
Either, but I'm more talking about the one where it's white marble or the white version,
smoke version.
Yeah, smoke version, because that one's classy to me, and that makes a difference because you can tell he's thinking about or daydreaming or dreaming about his role.
Yeah, but see that you can only I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd call that a museum pose.
I wouldn't call that a museum pose.
I wouldn't call that. So I would call LBS Superman a museum pose, or LBS Thor. LBS Thor a museum pose, right? Mm-hmm. What's LBS Thor? If you take the base off of LBS Thor, what's it saying?
It's saying here's Thor.
Exactly.
So basically, museum pose is just a pose where they're just standing there. Then.
Yes. Yeah, but there's certain characters you can get away with that. Right? Like you said, Batman, you can get away with it because everybody knows it's Batman, right? I mean, I hate to say it like that, but he's always either prepping or thinking or whatever, and Batman you can get away with it. Another character I think you can get away with it is Silver Surfer. Like you can take Bo and Silver Surfer. He's just standing there with a surfboard, but yet that's a pretty moving piece.
I think the word you're looking for. So to me, when I see a statue that works for a superhero, it's that majestic feeling. Like there are certain superheroes that are majestic, that convey power, that they convey like the other heroes looking up to them, basically. Like a Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and on the DC side, Superman, Batman. Like those are certain characters that convey majesty. Like they convey, okay, you look at these characters and they're like the top dogs. Like they're the guys that the other superheroes look up to. And I think those kind of characters lend well to um, um, uh, that pose where they're just standing there, because it's like that, majestic, where Superman can just looking up in the sky, and it just conveys power and majesty, basically. So, like I said, I think there's certain characters like that go with that museum pose and that museum style more than others. So, what's up, D3?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today, man?
What's up,
Not
man?
too bad. I don't know if you caught any of what we were talking about a second ago, or what. We're kind of like hopping all over the place right now, but we're just talking about what are some things that we hate about license companies. I know there's something you want to bring up.
Yeah, I didn't catch anything prior to this. I mean, I'm just now, becoming available. But I think, as far as things we hate about license companies, I think we're all pretty much on the same page. Is just, a lack of creativity, and I guess
we talked about that earlier.
yeah, basically too many parameters around what a company can do with a certain character. As far as of course, we all know the cigarettes and pointing guns at the spectator. Those things are all off limits. But just in general, yeah, just a lack of creativity, or not a lack of creativity, but a lack of being able to push the boundaries.
To express, I hate it when they can't express the character fully.
Exactly.
For example, Gambit with a cigarette, or same thing with what's the guy, the blonde hair with the magic from DC, Constantine. They both smoke cigarettes. Wolverine, they're not going to put a cigarette in his mouth, but these characters do that. Why haven't we seen a Punisher in a long time from companies? Because of our climate right now in the world, where nobody wants to see guns and all this stuff. So I hate it when they can't portray the character to its fullest, if that makes sense. Because they don't want to push the boundaries.
Absolutely.
Has there been any Wolverines, licensed Wolverines pieces that have blood on them?
Not that I can recall.
Right, they won't show any blood.
License, right?
Prime One will do it for $500.
That's an add-on. That's
you send it to them, they do it for $500.
Very true.
But yeah, I don't know any licensed pieces that.
Yeah, it's you guys brought that up. You know what I mean? D3 just brought that up, and it made me start thinking about it. I was like, he's got a good point. I don't see blood on any. Well, Vampirilla.
Yeah, but
because he's a vampire, I guess.
There's certain characters they'll do it on, and that's their own IP, or the blood, the new one they're doing with all that blood on it, the vampire one.
Right.
They do it. The new Batman versus Joker one has blood on it.
Red Sonja.
Yeah, I haven't seen a Wolverine with blood on them. Either
any
company.
Red Sonja.
You know what's kind of not confusing, but I just wonder, what research are the licensors doing to lead them to make the decisions that they won't allow such explicit nature in certain statutes? Like what feedback are they getting to prove that this is the right choice to make? Because that explicit content exists with the character in general, whether it's in comics, in movies. So why are they limiting it when it comes to like an actual physical 3D representation of the character? Do they have a marketing team or like some type of team that does this type of market research and to let them know? I just don't understand why this is the decisions they make.
Well, and look at it like this too. Is how many kids do you know that collect these statues?
Exactly. It's not even a kid hobby.
Yeah.
So unless there's like an offshoot store, a comic book store that they may walk into.
There's more stuff, more violence, more sex, more all that stuff in comic books.
Exactly.
Than there are in these statues, which doesn't make any sense.
Which are more readily available to children.
Yep.
Even online. So, I just don't understand the method behind the choice.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's a narrative. They push that stuff too in the comics, where like Mystique. She got what's her face pregnant, so she's technically the father. Like they do all this crazy stuff now in the comics, and that's stuff for kids. What I'm saying? But they won't let us have guns. They won't let us have blood. Like, come on.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
you think
understand.
most comic readers are adults though?
Now, but it used to be like when I was a kid, all my friends and I collected comic books and read comic books. You know, it's gone away from that a lot, but when I
That
was a
was like
kid,
70 years ago though.
don't make me kick you off.
Damn, dry
Don't make me kick you off.
head. I mean, I noticed the gray in the beard, but dang.
Oh, don't.
Like, I see,
There's some in Dion's beard too. You can see it. You can see it. Don't let him
Just
fool
for
you.
men, dog. Just for men.
I see that. I see that No CG said it's to protect the brand, but that's exactly what I'm questioning. Like, what are they exactly protecting the brand from? Because statues aren't something that's so popular that if they made an explicit version of a character that that bad publicity would rain down on them. It's such a niche hobby that it doesn't even reach too many people outside of the hobby. So I don't understand what are they actually protecting it from.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Ark's asking, would you guys prefer each piece done as a standalone, or do you like matching bases?
That's a good question.
And that kind of goes along what he was saying earlier about his what he prefers museum. He says like that he hates it when the museum pieces, they do the whole line museum and then the last three are like basic action, so they're not really matching. For me personally, I don't care as long as it represents the character. I don't necessarily need to match every single base up to all my characters. I don't. That's why I'm interested in that B statue. I know a lot of people, why is he, on a desk? I want him, in the midst of Sentinels, but yet we complain about Sentinels. So I don't care as long as it represents the character.
I think
I have.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
So to answer Arch's question, for me personally, in my collection, in my display, I do like to have the bases matching in a sense of I kind of want them to be the same color and around the same size. They don't have to match per se, but I kind of the way I have my display set up, I kind of want it to be kind of eye pleasing, in that sense, and that may be a little bit of OCD in me. Like, for example, I've got the OG Batman and the Queen Studios Wonder Woman together. I think they have pretty much the same color bases, and they look good together in front of each other. Now, would I want to get a Superman with a green base or something put next to it? No, I wouldn't. I'd want something that has that stone color base. You know what I mean? And that's just my particular thing on how I have it displayed.
Hey,
so that's me.
Real quick, I want to say hi to Cash. He's saying the great topics, gentlemen, enjoying the show. Make sure you hit that like, Cash. Make sure you hit that like.
Cash has put the he's multitasking.
Yeah, he's cutting his grass.
He said he's cutting grass.
But yeah, sorry to cut you guys off, but go ahead.
No, that was it. I mean, that's about it.
To Matt's point, I think you can have a cohesive line or a collection with different style bases for characters in the same line, as long as like Matt said, they're similar sizes, similar themes.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the exact same. But I also think it depends on the IP. So for example, like X-Men, of course, one of the most popular lines to collect. Each character in X-Men has their own distinct personality and character traits and just background and just so many different type of Easter eggs that you can possibly incorporate into a base with them. So it's more forgivable that they all have different bases. But if you have like a line, let's say, just the first thing that comes to my mind, like the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers don't really have, like, each person's character isn't super distinct, and they have so many different elements to each person that it will be hard to make like 6 different bases. Yeah. I would prefer a line like the Power Rangers to all have the same base. So I do think it depends on what line you're collecting. Like whether the characters can give off that feel of individuality, which would like give more credence to having different bases.
Like Ninja Turtles, you wouldn't want to see
exactly
different bases.
Because they're a cohesive team and they have almost like a collective character.
But that also goes back to who was that just said that a moment ago about museum poses and then one of them being like an action scene or something. That's the exact same thing that PCS is already doing, because Michelangelo is like jumping and doing whatever, and everybody else is kind of just standing.
But it's the same base though, right? At least.
It is the same base.
So-
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't mind it. I don't think it's a crazy notion for everything to, cohesively go together. But at the same time, too, if it explains the character like more than just putting him on a Sentinel base, I'm all for it. I'm all for, whatever. Like Dion's XM Transformers back there. It's all a cohesive base, right? It's all on Cybertron. It's all metal and metallic looking pieces on the base, so it all kind of fits together. The moment they do like a one of those like on a jungle, you're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, that doesn't look good. But like D3 was saying, it kind of depends on the IP, I think, too. So, but
or we're just a badass statue. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get that standalone piece that that you just want in your collection. It doesn't have to match anything. For example, there's a custom Magneto holding Spider-Man, like a Venomized Spider-Man.
Oh,
That's
my God.
that's a dope piece, right? But it doesn't match anything, but it's still a dope piece, right, Dion?
Man.
What do you think about that piece, Dion? Tell me about it.
You already getting it, aren't you?
What are you talking about, Dion?
Man, this guy copies my collection, man.
That's not in your collection. That's going to be in my collection.
My PO list, I'm gonna say that thing.
But yeah, so I mean, there are those standalone statues that you just would love to have just to be a one-off. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I've never thought about, well, I have to get this statue and then I have to get this statue to collect the whole set. I've never thought that way. Yes, I want certain X-Men characters in my collection just because that's what I grew up with, but I'm not saying I need to have this, and this. I don't hold myself to that.
I agree. I want them to look good together, but they don't have to have like the same base or anything like that. Like, for example, Dazzler would not look good in my X-Men collection.
But if you really wanted that version of Dazzler, I mean, why not?
I mean, I don't know what could they have done to, other than make her fighting or in a danger room or something.
Yeah.
That would made her look cohesive in most people's X-Men collection, probably.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys could think of, like anything that you don't like about licensed pieces? That goes for anybody in the chat too. Is there anything you guys can think of?
I'm not sure if y'all touched on this too, but it kind of goes hand in hand with the lack of creative expression, but the lack of obscure and different characters. Of course, they tend to lean on the most popular ones. Kudos to Sideshow over the past year for stepping outside of the box and doing a lot of different characters. But historically, licensed companies tend to stick to the money makers, which it's a business practice, so you can't completely blame them. But
yeah, I started saying that exact same thing because, like, even if it's a piece that you probably wouldn't buy, like, you have to take your hats off to Sideshow for stepping out of the box.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Now, I was just gonna say, to be honest, there's not. I know I'm big on customs, and I always, champion for customs. But outside of those two things, there's not really anything I hate about licensed statues or companies. I collect licensed pieces as well, and I feel like the licensed niche is pretty dope. What they're doing, the innovations they're making. A lot of them are starting to listen to the collectors a lot more now. So just besides the lack of creativity and then hitting characters that everybody wants. Those are the only two things, really.
Another topic that I was going to go over, shipping costs on licensed pieces. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, shipping's more expensive on the custom." Nah.
Shipping on customs have gone down.
Yeah, way down. And if that's the case, then why is licensed pieces so expensive? I'm getting that quarter scale Colossus. And that was only $185 shipped to me, and it's got multiple.
That's beautiful.
It's only got multiple. It's got multiple torsos, switch outs, everything. And it's huge. It's got a Sentinel head that he's standing on, and it's a big piece. and that
They're
was
gonna
only
ship that thing in a plastic bag.
yeah. But I mean, but it's only $185. You know, why is that? You know,
To this date, the most expensive piece I've purchased, the most expensive shipping I paid on a piece was a license piece, and it was an XM piece. It wasn't even Prime 1.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, but there's so many factors that go into that as far as, the distributor you're using. We all know that SHOT Show generally has cheaper shipping than.
But the thing is, though, they ship so much, it should be cheaper.
It should be cheaper, yeah.
They have way more stock to ship, right? So they normally do deals with these shipping companies. Oh, we'll ship, 1,000 statues, but it'll be more expensive somehow.
I mean, they pad the shipping.
Yeah, I mean, look at Prime 1. Prime 1's a big example. We all know what they're doing. We all know what they're
they
doing.
pad the shipping.
So
you know what's crazy with Prime 1 to me and this shipping? It's like collectors have just kind of settled into this space where, okay, we know they're doing something shady, but we're just gonna accept it. Like, I feel like there should be more uproar against Prime 1 for their obvious unfair shipping tactics, because it just makes no sense when you can even if other license companies still have high shipping prices, Prime 1 is far above all the rest of them, and it's obvious that there's some manipulation going on with their shipping, and it's like, we really gonna. I mean, I don't buy Prime 1 statues, so there's only so much energy I'm gonna put into it. But I'm just, the community in general, I'm just surprised that everybody just kind of accepts it for what it is.
yeah, I there was an uproar like a while back, like a couple years ago when Prime 1 first started doing this.
During the COVID,
but and then that's what it was. It was COVID. It was, everything was going up in price because of COVID. But why is it still that way? It's still, and it keeps getting worse. So, I just, that's another thing that I was thinking about too, is the shipping on licensed pieces seem to be more expensive by far. I guarantee you that same statue that I'm talking about, that Colossus, wouldn't be $185 from XM.
No,
It'd be like, $300-$400, at least. So I don't know. I don't think that's right. So
like, my Maestro was what, like $1,000 to ship it.
Yeah, I mean, but it was on a pallet and everything. So, that's a massive piece for sure.
But the Iceman, which weighed not more than half of that, was only like 100. What was it, like 100 and some, 200? I can't remember now, but it was way less.
Yeah.
Than the Maestro.
That's a heavy statue. I know. I've seen a lot of people say it's really heavy. So
correct.
But for some reason, the licensed stuff is more expensive. And that's been the thing with customs too. Even Ark was saying it earlier in one of his comments, how he's used to go into the budget route with collecting licensed pieces. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think there's a lot of statues that you can get cheaper or just as expensive on the custom market than you will on the licensed pieces. Because I mean, if you collect XM, right? Let's say you collect XM, you're spending about the same amount of money, but I guarantee your shipping is going to be less expensive on the custom overall.
Correct.
So I don't agree. I've never agreed with the customs are way more expensive. That was one of the things talked about, how customs really aren't as expensive as people think they are. And
generally not, but there are some outliers as far as depending on what groups you use, or some groups might do some really extravagant large projects, but those are the exceptions to the rule. Like you said, most customs, in my opinion, just as well, are cheaper than actual license pieces. So
yeah,
especially when you factor in tax and all of that stuff, because you're avoiding that with customs. So
prime example, the two faces that came out recently, one was licensed and one was custom, right? How much was the custom one? Like $600, like $600. There was two different sizes. It was way cheaper than the Tweeterhead one.
So better, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it was better also. But yeah, so I mean, the days of them everybody saying it's more expensive to collect customs, it's wrong. I don't. I'll say that it's blue in the face. It's not more expensive at all. Maybe comparative to Sideshow.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? If you're
Sideshow
comparing,
pieces don't weigh very much.
But-
even
but
the
that's-
bigger ones.
but that's one license piece comparative to LBS,
Yeah.
Prime One, XM. If you're comparing it to Sideshow, then maybe I understand. But even then, some
Hey.
pieces in the custom world are cheaper.
And let's face it, when comparing quarter scale statues to Sideshow from any other company or customs, it's kind of unfair because it's widely known that Sideshow is the cheapest place you're going to get quarter scale statues from. So it's like they have that's what they have on lock. So I feel like you shouldn't even be comparing prices to Sideshow because nobody, licensed or custom companies, can't compare to Sideshow's
Yeah.
lower prices when it comes to quarter scale statues specifically.
When they say that though, that's what I think they're comparing it to is Sideshow, which isn't
Yeah,
fair because
probably.
everybody that's the
It's not.
cheapest. That's the cheapest company overall, anyways, compared to
Yeah.
even the licensed companies. So I don't think it's fair to say that, man. I really don't. Not these days. But if nobody has anything else, I mean, we can go into pictures real fast. So I don't know if
That
you
picture
guys.
was funny.
Huh?
I'm talking about the vampire in Brooklyn photo.
Oh yeah. So that statue that I teased last week, there's a custom company that's making it, and they teased another couple pictures that they wanted me to show. Basically, this one is going to be an extra portrait if you like. It's like a pre-order incentive. So if you order it within a certain time, you're going to get this portrait too, basically.
I'm loving the whole timed release time.
Exclusive stuff.
Exclusive stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is another one that when we were talking about it the other day on the show, I said that it'd be dope if there was a portrait that had the Omega Beam effect, and they're gonna add one. They're gonna add this.
So how many portraits are they doing total for that?
Like 5, I think.
Jeez.
So
This
Right.
effect is really cool too because it's not just the acrylic things coming off the side of the eyes. It's actually infused into the
yeah,
sculpt,
Yeah.
that lights up,
Yeah, I like
which is
that.
really good.
I dig the sculpt a lot on this.
And one of the things that I don't like about statues is when they have the energy effects coming off of the eyes that way with the light resin. I really like how it's done in this way, just like you said, Matt. Like I think this is a more aesthetic way for me personally to see that
Right.
that energy over the eyes.
Right.
It's less
It's coming-
toyish in my opinion.
Yeah,
it is
it's
a
coming.
lot
You can see it's
less
coming from behind his face. It's coming from behind the eyes, not
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's coming through the skin.
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
So kudos-
this is
Kudos to the concept of that. You know what I mean? The creativity of thinking about that.
this is the reminder of what the statue overall looks like. Just wanted to show it again. It is going to have stands for the portraits, and then that's the one I like a lot too, where it's glowing on the sides.
Yeah,
I
But
agree.
this is the new portrait on the statue.
I think it looks great.
And if I'm
Yeah,
not
this is my-
mistaken, I think
my
you said
favorite portrait so far.
there's going to be a museum type as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's gonna do this in a museum pose too.
Yeah, but that
this
goes
is-
back to the character, right? Of
Yeah,
telling a story.
yeah. But this is my I think this is my favorite one so far. That the head sculpt that he has on here. So, and these are the stands for the sculpts.
Oh wow, that's extensive.
Yeah. So if anybody's interested in any more information or they're interested in pure, that just let me know, and I will
What
direct.
stage is this in right now?
Archer get on aftermarket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
They're doing the concept right now, so it'll probably be going into production or some kind of prototype, probably relatively soon, I think. So
Okay.
it's just the beginning stages. Like I said, he was even able to add this last head because we had talked about it on the show about the mega beams. So
There's another project that this group hasn't
Yeah,
worked.
I've got pictures of that later.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. They're doing some good stuff over there, and I like the direction that they're headed.
Yeah. This Wolverine, I dig the paint on it, but that's it. That's the only thing I dig on this one.
I like the paint, but I like nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of this Wolverine at all. There's so many things I don't like about it. I mean,
It's weird. This is done by Caleb Nevison.
No, that's what's shocking to me, man. It's
So a lot of times I love his stuff or I really hate his stuff. There's no between.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This entire line for me personally is pretty lackluster, and I compare it to
wait, you said the whole line is lackluster?
Yeah.
The Colossus, the Cyclops. I compare it to
Their old
to
stuff.
the LL.
Yeah.
To the LL X-Men versus Sentinel, the large ones. This group is like an offshoot or like a sister company of LL. It's the same commissioner, but this is pretty much like a new age version of the X-Men versus Sentinel line, and it's just not living up to its predecessor in my opinion.
The proportions of everything is off. Like, look at these little fingers right here coming off the hand.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I don't like
That's
this.
the same thing I said in the group. The proportions, either Wolverine's overscaled or the Sentinel hand is totally under. Like, it just needs to be reworked.
Bro, what is he doing with his lip? Like, come on.
right.
Hey, Jimmy asks, who do we think makes the best Wolverine, Franco or Alejandro? What do y'all think?
Oh man, they both make some good ones. That's
Yeah, man.
there's an argument. There's an argument for both of them, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think I prefer Franco, but I don't. It's tough. Like, it's neck and neck.
Franco is my overall favorite sculptor of all time, probably. Then it goes. He's the other guy's a second runner up, and then it would be Daniel Bell. So those are my top three sculptors, I think.
Gotcha.
But I don't know what they're doing, what they're trying to do with them here. Like, the paint looks good, but everything else sucks.
They need to rework.
Look.
So I was, Caleb went on a tear last year. He was sculpting things left and right, licensed, unlicensed. Like, he was just like every other sculpt that you saw revealed last year was like almost a Caleb sculpt. So, and I know that he took a break this year. So I'm wondering if maybe he did this line like towards the tail end of like, his run last year, because I feel like he started to fizzle out at a certain point. There was a lot of stuff announced that he did last year that was amazing, and then there was a lot that was just like, okay, you might want to take a break because you might have been putting in too much work. But I don't know. That's just a theory. I'm not sure. I really can't speak on it. In fact.
So look at the side of his face, right? Does it make sense for him to have hair under his ear? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. Like, he's hairy, yes, I get it, but he's not going to have hair under his ear.
The hair is coming out of.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. This is things all over the place. I don't care for it. Like, this portrait's dope. But it's the only thing I like.
I mean, it's okay, but it's to be expected. That portrait is.
Yeah.
I'll pass on this altogether.
Yeah. Age of Apocalypse Wolverine.
That looks like the licensed one, right?
Kind of.
I'm not.
He's got hair under his ear on that one. He's got hair all over.
I will say it's better printed out. Like, printed right here looks better.
Yes, correct. They need a better paint job or something. Is it just the kit, or was that like a render that we saw? What was that?
That's just a render. That's
Okay.
not even. That's just a render.
Okay.
But it came better. Like, to me, it looks better as a kit or the
I agree.
printed out. So somebody can do the justice to the statue if they paint really good.
Right. I agree with that. The hair is a little wild, but I mean,
Somebody come back in.
D3.
Okay. Ark says, Jarhead, once you reach a certain age, the hair grows everywhere. I don't think it grows under your ears, buddy, no matter how old you are. So unless you're like a werewolf or something, I guess.
Or wolf.
Yeah.
Or do you have the opposite, Arch? You start losing hair everywhere.
I thought this was pretty dope. I don't know if you guys have seen
Onslaught?
it. Onslaught, yeah. This is probably like the best one I've seen. It's a printed one. It's not a.
I would agree, because the other one that I've seen, I'm not impressed with.
There's like 2 of those, I think, and I've never been impressed with it.
I'm not familiar with the character.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah.
What's the character from? I'm not.
So back in like late 90s, there was a story. You know the story where Wolverine got his adamantium pulled out? You know about that story? Well,
yeah.
So when that happened, Magneto got his mind wiped by Professor X because he was so pissed off because he did that. And once he did that, their minds touched, and something that was evil and Magneto touched Professor X's like psyche or whatever, and create a whole new being, combined them two basically, and it created Onslaught. To make a long story short. So that's how Onslaught was basically.
So it's kind of like Batman Who Laughs, sort of similar
kind of
concept.
Yeah. So basically, whatever was evil and Magneto tainted Professor X, basically. So, and it made it a whole new being. So there's more to the story than that, but that's just the basics.
Got it.
But Wicked did a really good job on this statue.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Yeah, I'd buy it. It says it's 1/6 though.
It doesn't matter when you can print it out however big you want, basically.
Okay.
So, or small.
It's probably a big piece anyways.
Is Captain Britain. This is like the not Psylocke, but Betty
character.
Betty Braddock. She took over the mind of Psylocke. That's Psylocke's character, but she's got the mind of Betty Braddock. That's how we knew her through the 90s through Psylocke. But this is like when she separates from Psylocke and is her own character, basically. So,
and that's why she has like those energy. She can make that.
I'm not sure she did that originally as a character though.
Oh, okay. So that's just like artistic liberty, I guess.
Yeah.
Now this is like semi-museum, I guess, right?
Yeah, kind of. I would consider it museum.
Yeah.
This is what D3 was talking about earlier.
What the hell is this?
This is a Sentinel Buster. This is a newer concept in the comic books. Tony Stark, it's a long story, but basically Tony Stark's company got taken over and they were using his technology to attack the mutants. They were like basically Iron Man Sentinels, basically. And so he built a Sentinel Buster to destroy them, basically.
This just seems wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is you'd have to know that, so I would say to the group, I mean, who's the target audience here to get the piece successful, right? Like I saw this and it's like, okay, I thought it was a variant of Hulkbuster, right?
Yeah. I mean, basically that's what it is. I mean, it's a variant of the Hulkbuster suit. So
right. Well, you said it's a Sentinel Buster. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of a Sentinel Buster.
I thought it would have been Hulkbuster.
it's people that are still reading comic books would know what this is, basically, because it's a newer concept.
Right. So I guess the question I would ask, particularly to the group, would be, what do they come up with a target number of people to show interest? How many people need to commit to this Sentinel Buster before it actually goes, or even for the concept? I mean, how does that? What's the process there like, or what I mean? Because it's like you wouldn't. How many guys would actually buy this piece? You know what I mean?
But don't they have to have like the same number of interests as the ES to start it? Or
Yeah,
something?
typically you do, or actually you want to get more, right? Because you gotta factor in the guys falling off. So I would ask, so what's their target? Do you think it'd be 30? You think it'd be 50? You think
Yeah,
where does it go?
I'm thinking
to
it's just going to be a
worth?
small ES.
I say 20.
Yeah, what's the number to make it worth it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where you got to look at a lot of custom groups. Like, do they bite off more than they can chew? Going into something, because you may have one or two guys who really like this a character and they want to get it out, but not everybody else does. You know what I mean?
It's just
So
like
that's
some of us hardcore X-Men fans know who Sauron is, but who's gonna buy one? You know what I'm saying? Besides like a few hardcore
Right.
guys that are in the X-Men.
Yeah.
And there's
If you're a
Iron
really
Man. There's
niche character.
there's Iron Man collectors out there that will collect everything Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a stretch. It's just, we look at it and we're like, okay, well, it doesn't make sense to me, but there's a lot of people out there that, well, this is a variant of an Iron Man costume. I want it now.
Yeah.
So same thing with Hulkbuster. Think about how Hulkbuster, when it first came out, they were like, oh, I mean, who would have thought that, that would have been, something people wanted, but it was cool as hell and people wanted it, so it just depends.
Just like if there's a version of Magneto that comes out, I'm probably gonna want it.
Yeah, like a Venomized one or something.
You think? I don't think you care what version of it is. You still gonna want it.
I'm still gonna want it.
So the base on this has that storytelling that LBS has been doing.
It looks like the XM, the one where he's putting his suit on or something.
Oh, the suit up.
Yeah, I think it looks. I mean, it's a shorter version, but I think it looks like it.
So this is a zoomed up. So in the story, Iron Man and the White Queen actually got married. Emma Frost and him got married. So that was part of the story.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
This is
about
conveying
the
it basically.
Yeah, I didn't read that comment.
Yeah, I still keep up with some of the newer stuff.
I don't like the word on the front. I don't know.
Stark
Time
Industries.
for that?
I just don't like words on the front of my statues. If you don't know what it is,
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like words and I don't like emblems.
right.
Well, then I
Like,
mean,
for example,
most of our stuff has X's on it, and that's from X-Men, right? And we know what
Put
that's
an X
from.
on it, but like,
I mean,
I don't want a
it's the same.
statue that says Magneto
It's the same.
on it.
It's the same thing, though, right? If you really think about it, we
Not
know
on the
we know
base.
they're X-Men.
No, not really.
yeah, but not on the base. But so like them on a belt buckle, yeah. But sorry, man, just lost my train of thought.
The new Bishop has an X on the back of it, for instance.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't
Very
even think
back
I've
of it.
ever seen the back of
Oh, I know
it.
I have.
Like that STL file of Wolverine Sabretooth, right? The one that looks just like the
Yeah, with
MK
the
version.
X on it.
Yeah. So I really like that piece. I was really thinking about getting it and having it painted, but if I did, I'm gonna send it to somebody to get that X taken off
Take
and
the
just
X off.
yeah, I don't like that. That's just like
I like this
That's
part
just
of the
my
base, though,
opinion.
where it's showing Magneto.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
Of course you do. I think those are bullets flying at him and he's stopping them. I think that's what it looks like to me, anyways.
the Neo effect.
There's a part of the story where Deadpool dresses up as a soldier with a mustache.
Oh my god. Yeah, they're gonna really need somebody that has fully followed this story
Yeah,
to get it.
some
What the
Sentinels.
hell is that?
Sentinels.
Like regular size? And
Yeah.
Oh, so in the story, this is a big.
Giant
This
Sentinel.
is
Yeah.
like a big giant. Oh, see, that makes okay. See, I didn't know that. See, I wouldn't.
No, I didn't either.
But yeah, this is that Doom we were talking about earlier. That
I'm
Sold
still
out.
hating on you a little bit, just a little bit.
I mean, why hating? I mean,
Just a little bit.
You could have got it. I think there might
Man,
be one. or two left of the green.
I think I was out of town when this damn thing went up, and it finished so fast.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this might be the definitive Doom when it comes out.
Maybe I'll hit up the commissioner maybe as another one or something.
He told me too. I was talking to him. He was like, the guy that does the renders, they normally come out better than the renders. So,
what else has that guy done? Did he give you an example?
I didn't ask. I just bought. I was like, all right, sounds good. I'll just buy it.
Well, even if it just matches, it doesn't even have to look better.
That's hilarious.
So remember with that Doom versus we did a few weeks back?
Yeah.
Remember how I was talking about like one of the thrones was like that mystical, it showed that part of him? To me, this does that too. But like on a grand scale.
So that throne reminds me of the custom Madeline Pryor on throne that's coming out.
I mean, there's quite a few of those coming out too, actually.
Oh, it's like only one, I think, isn't it? Where she's got like this like black cut thing. You know what I'm talking about, man.
You're not describing it very well.
I'll send you a picture. I gotta find it.
Okay, but I'm really digging the armor on this. Like, one of my big complaints about Doom, like in a statue form, is when they overdo like the details on the armor. There's a lot of them out there that they overdo the details, and to me, this is like just enough to where it looks really good.
Yeah, I think it looks perfect. I think, like I said, the white one is still the best looking one. I think
it's just because it pops because of the contrast of the colors.
Yes.
I think later on it's gonna look just as good as like the green one's gonna look just as good. And when you see it, but yeah, the contrast I think of the white definitely pops more with the black of the throne basically.
And that's when you're getting the white one.
Me, no, I'm getting the green one. I didn't. To me, like when I get a character, I generally
the white one.
No, I got the green one. I could have got the white one, but I wanted the green just because like Doom to me is, this is Doom to me. Like the colors.
White one sold out quick.
Yeah, so white one sold out real fast, but there was only 20 of them, so and you don't see this very often. A gun, I think it's a nullifier gun, or I forget what he called.
I've never seen Doom with a gun.
He's got a gun on
Sideshow.
He's got a gun on his hip all the time, man.
Yeah, the OG Sideshow.
Even the Sideshow one has a gun on it?
Yeah, the OG Sideshow. He's got a gun in his hand.
I did not know that.
I forget what it's called. It's a certain kind of gun. I forget what it's called. I don't know if it's the Ultimate Nullifier. That's Reed Richards' thing that he has. But there's a name for this gun. I forgot it though. But
that would be a perfect example of me liking like just cool shit, like not being a collector, because I don't know much about Dr. Doom.
Doom's over here just with a gun, just bang bang, y'all.
Bang bang.
Got something for your asthma.
Yeah, but I also like the fact that the commissioner took liberties kind of with the mask. Like it's just different. Like you don't have to order it this way. You can get like the base one where it just doesn't have as many options, but it's different.
They did take a lot of creative liberties with this one, because I don't think I've ever seen that mask on any Doom or.
Yeah, but you know what? Arch had mentioned this earlier. He said, one thing he doesn't care for with some of this customs art, there are too many options, and I guess I'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, or I'd rather have it and not want it than to want it and not have it.
Yeah,
I mean that's just my take on it. Yeah, you gotta love that. At least for me, maybe force him to. He guess he's an iPhone guy.
What do you guys think about this effect right here?
I'm curious to know how they're going to make that effect in print.
Cash says antimatter gun. That's what it is.
Antimatter gun. Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think they're going to make that? Because the standing version, even though that's a different group, but that standing Doom that had the cube. People were saying that it didn't come out right, the cube or whatever.
It was flat and there was no kind of like texture, like there was no kind of like pop to it. Like it's it's something glowing, but it doesn't that didn't have any pop to it.
Right.
Right. I don't know. I mean, they could do like a clear resin and paint it a light blue. They could do it like that. Just depends. I have faith in this company or this group because everything that I bought from them is my favorite. It's my favorite group. So,
I mean, they stepped their game like way up. So
you see that Magneto they're coming out with. So, and that paint on that is immaculate. So,
yes, I have seen it. How many switch outs is that? That's a lot.
I think there's 5 heads.
Or there's 5 heads and
I think so.
2 arms, 3 arms.
So there's this one. There's There's this one. There's that one with the hands. There's a chalice. There's that. So I mean, there's quite a few.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I just sent you the piece I was talking about too.
Okay. There's a lot of detail on this too. I just noticed there's skulls right here too.
Look at the face in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That looks amazing. But it does remind me of that Madeline Pryor thing.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Doesn't it remind you of it?
Kind of like the demonic kind of.
Yes, exactly. What is that? I like it. It's Wasp, right?
Huh?
Is that Wasp?
Yeah, it's transformation, basically.
Oh, wow.
So this company does really good female stuff. So they did like something like this with like a warbird.
Is it the same company doing that Madeline Pryor just sent?
No, different company. This is like I'd have to tell you who this is because you probably don't know. It's a smaller group, but they do a lot of great female characters. So, but it's basically a transformation. It hasn't come out for pre-order yet, but it's coming out soon. So,
yeah, I like it. Oh yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah, they've already showed a prototype of it too. So,
oh really? So it's coming along.
They've been working on it for a while now. So.
That I love, man.
I like it. I like it a lot. There's some nitpicks that I have with it.
People don't like the sword on the back.
The swords on the back, they're too low.
Yeah.
Normally, how like a samurai or like a ninja holds it, like I've seen that before, where it's on their back of their hip, but it's normally straight or off to the side at an angle. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen somebody with it like sitting on their ass, basically, like that.
And see, I mean,
it does look awkward.
This is a museum pose that I appreciate, right?
Yeah.
And I really like Deadpool, and I like to see Deadpool like this when they do this. I don't like silly Deadpool stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I read that when Deadpool first came out, that's when I liked Deadpool. But it just went over the top with the silliness, and I thought it got a little too much. That's why I stopped.
But this one has just the right amount of silliness because you see when he's holding up,
just touches it, the pencils, whatever,
crayons or pencils or whatever.
Yeah.
To me,
can you imagine if Deadpool was serious like this? I mean, that character would be
that would be crazy.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that's how he first came out, right? Was when he was
exactly.
So when did he change? Like when Ryan Reynolds took over?
No, it was before Ryan Reynolds.
It was before that in the comics, but Ryan Reynolds took it to another level with all the sexual stuff. You know what I mean? He was always cracking jokes like Spider-Man would. They were subtle. They'd be in there, but he was pretty serious when he first came out. He was tearing mofos up. And I just don't know what happened to it. But then I think he got popular with the silliness stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Some of the younger guys started liking it, I guess.
The gun on this is very accurate too. Like even down to the sling, like, that's how, people in the military nowadays, that's how their sling is. So that's pretty good to me.
I like the whole thing.
I just wish the swords were on his back.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
maybe
get them-
they'll listen to the community and fix it.
The portrait too, like this right here, looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
this
was-
is how
I
I
like
this,
that one.
this is how I would display it, like this.
Exactly.
Yes,
With the
same.
swords up.
You know, it reminds me of the Prime one, the
Batman.
Batman. Yep.
Yeah, dark, whatever. Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
See, the ones with the pencils, I think would be cool if like he had like a John Wick, something like a John Wick thing, and he's making fun of John Wick.
How
If
do
he
you
had like a-
relate the pencils to John Wick?
Because you know, the part where he's a fucking pencil. He killed a guy, like 3 guys in a bar with a pencil. You don't remember that story?
I don't
Remember
remember that. Only thing I remember John Wick using is guns. I don't remember.
So,
No.
bro, in the beginning of the story, when they introduced him, when the
Oh,
when the
die
crime,
off.
when the boss hit his son, remember that part in the first one, where he was like, you know, whose car did you steal? And
Oh, okay, I do remember
he was like,
that part.
we used to call him Baba Yaga, right? Because
I
he killed,
remember that
he
part.
kills, he's the guy that kills the boogeyman, right? But in that story, he was like, I once seen him kill 3 guys in a bar with a pencil, a
I don't
fucking
remember
pencil.
that part of it though.
What? That's
You
the
gotta
classic
watch it.
line, dude.
You gotta,
I
you
need to
gotta
If
watch
watch
I had
it.
a John Wick
man.
statue, he'd have to be holding a pencil. That's the only way I'd see producers and anybody custom guys listening do a John Wick. with
Which
a
John
pencil.
Wick is that? Part 1, right?
Part 1, yeah.
Yeah, that's the best one, anyways.
Nah, I'm just
So-
playing. I don't know, but yeah, John Wick statue with a pencil would be pretty cool.
So technically, this is Wolverine with the Deadpool suit on.
I don't like that one.
I think I've seen a cover with him like that too.
No, I like him with his mask fully off right there. I'll do that.
Yeah. But you have options.
Yeah. Looks like it has a lot of switch outs, which is good.
People are starting to get this in hand. This Havoc, very low number. I think there were 10 of them made.
Is it just the kit?
Yeah, it's just a kit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we need another Havoc statue. And that was not sarcasm, by the way.
No.
We need one that's not a kit.
No, I have this one coming. So
Oh, you do?
yeah,
You got a painter lined up too?
yeah. I got a local guy.
Nice. And a morph. We need a morph too.
There's a custom group making a morph.
I saw that. The custom. I mean, he's like a museum morph, I think. or
Movies
something.
and morph, yeah.
Yeah.
This guy is creating custom portraits for the OG Gambit. I think this is great.
I love it too.
You know,
Smoke trail.
if he's tapped into something right there, if he just like, there's such a demand. If he would just like work on just doing portraits for different statues,
Mhm.
dude, whoever the guy who did this, like that's a market that he could like really tap into. Because I saw this too, and I was pretty impressed. And I was like, maybe I should try to, because there's a couple of pieces I'd like to change the portrait out on, right?
Yeah.
And
This looks
it's
way
kinda
better
like,
than the old school one for sure.
It's an expensive way to like refresh a statue rather than buying.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's a mark. That's a breadwinner right there, man.
Yeah. Why have licensed companies or why haven't people done this? Like this is I'm not gonna say cheap, but it's a way
They make
less
more money.
cost, you
Yeah.
know?
Vibranium Jim asked me who's making that. It's a custom group, but it's already long sold out, man. There's only like 10 of them made, so it's long sold out.
I don't know if the bang would be worth the buck for them.
Like what would you pay for this, Matt?
Like $300-400.
Hell no.
Yeah, about $300. I mean, it depends on the cost of the statue, right? I got to weigh the cost of the statue.
I wouldn't pay more than
But at the same time, I have to respect the artist's time and work. You know what I mean?
I mean, look at this
So,
portrait. That's Gambit right there. That's
yes.
Gambit. There's very few
Tatum Channing.
statues out there that look this good as far as his portrait.
Yeah,
That's
that
an Alejandro
looks really-
Ferrero stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talented.
That was good.
Yeah.
I think this is
Somebody just posted those, I think.
Yeah. Raphael something. I forget the artist name, but he made a Nightcrawler that this has been out for a while. But one
It's
of the
a different
collectors,
take on it, though. I kind of like it.
yeah, it's just swashbuckler Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
And this happened in the comics too, so just a different take on Nightcrawler.
So he was saying he didn't like the shirt off.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like I think the next verses I do is gonna be a Nightcrawler one, and just because
that's gonna be nice.
there's not many Nightcrawlers out there, but the ones that we have, they're all pretty good. So I'm probably gonna compare them all.
I think it's a good idea.
There's not
People don't
crazy.
do Nightcrawler very often.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting on my ideal Nightcrawler.
I thought you got one coming, don't you?
Nah, I don't have one coming.
Oh, I thought you bought that one where he's like hunched over, like
Oh, the museum one?
no, where he's I don't know if that's museum or not. Did they make one too? A museum one too, just
nah,
like
I
that?
don't have one. I don't have one on the way out.
Okay.
Yeah, they made one as well. But I don't really like it that much.
Oh wow, that looks really nice. Oh yeah, that's what the white.
Well, you can see the seam like crazy on this.
That's why he said he didn't like the shirt off, which I understand because that seems very bad. I would never display it that way.
Yeah.
I noticed. Seems forefront.
Yeah.
It's a little tail.
So
Anime.
we are coming to the anime section of the show. I just grabbed some stuff that was randomly coming out. I thought this was pretty dope. Don't ask me what it is, but it looks dope.
I was gonna say I know nothing about anime.
So this is a
this
1/6
same-
statue. But look at the detail on this thing.
Okay.
It looks amazing though.
So we weren't looking at like a character that's like twins, right? It was just two
No,
of
I
the
think
same
that was
statue.
I just think that was two of the same statue.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
So this is Sasuke.
You never know, man, right? With anime.
The main characters in Naruto.
Naruto. Okay, yeah, I figured because that was
I think
the stuff on his.
The Chidori lightning maneuver.
This is painted really
Hey.
good. Like there's detail on it, and it's only 1/6, but it looks great.
Spec has a lot of anime pieces on sale right now.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I was wondering.
So this Broly right here, I thought this was a pretty dope statue of
What's his name?
Broly.
Broly?
Broly, yeah. So the statue is
There's so many Brolys out there, man.
this statue is only $400 shipped.
What?
Yeah, brand
How
new.
big
Only
is it?
for, I think it's 1/6,
Wow.
but I think it's really dope. There's a lot of detail in this.
I like the shading, like on his muscles and stuff.
Mm.
My thing is there's so many Brolys and they all have similar poses. Not all of them, but like 80% of them have like a similar pose of him just standing up, powering up.
That green pops.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, I guess another one won't hurt.
Yeah, why not? $600 or 400? How much did I say it was?
600.
400 bucks shipped.
400 bucks.
400. You said 400.
400 shipped is crazy
Yeah.
though.
with LEDs and everything.
That's like giving it away.
There's a
Is
lot
this
of detail in this.
Custom group? Or what?
This one is a custom.
Okay. Wow. Can I get some X-Men statues for 400? Shit. I noticed
but then
like a lot
See,
of
when you hear $400 for something like that, you start to think like,
Action figure.
Huh?
I think action figure. Sorry.
I think how low
well, now
the other ones could be.
Yeah, why are we spending so much money?
Are they cut?
Why are we spending so much money on
Well, I
something?
don't know.
when
I
it-
think like I start to question like maybe. I'm sorry, man. I got a lag. But I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
question
yeah.
like maybe the quality or like the steps in production, if they skipped any steps, or if they're taking a shortcut around production. Like what's the difference? Because it can't be when it comes to customs, it can't be the license. So
I
but,
um,
once again, there's just so much we don't know.
so here's what I think. I think it's for me personally. This is IMO. It's a cartoon, and you're buying a cartoon. You're buying a figure. I think that's the difference. I think with the statues that we buy, although they are characters from a comic book, there is a sense of realism to them. You look at you know what I mean? You look at their skin, they have detail, they have suits. There's a lot of things that are put into it. Not that these don't have detail put into it, but you're looking at a detail of a cartoon. It's like buying Scooby-Doo. Like, would you get Scooby-Doo? And how much money would you pay for a Scooby-Doo statue? Versus, you know what I'm saying? It's not bringing it to life. I think the statues that we get bring the characters to life, whereas this remains a cartoon. I don't know if I conveyed that.
No, I get what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying?
From earlier though, Vibranium Jim was saying that head was only $200,
which is perfect. That's the price that I said I'd pay for it too.
Yeah.
Which is
JoJo also says that's a waste of $400 for that Broly.
Wow.
So.
I guess he's not an anime fan.
Well, here's a Goku for JoJo.
It's probably another waste. I don't know how much it costs.
I don't know, but some of these statues, man, look crazy. Look at this.
I know. Joe, shout out to Joe Miller. Me and Steve went over his house. He has a ton of anime pieces, and even though I would never buy, and I probably didn't know what I was even looking at throughout half of his collection, but it looks amazing though.
Yeah, and a lot of these are not nearly as expensive as the stuff that we collect. So
correct.
But but also to go back to some of these iconic, to some guys, some anime is iconic. Like for me, I pulled this up before. It's still sitting here. This is an iconic anime movie for me.
What is that, Ninja Scroll?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Ninja Scroll, right? So the characters that are in this, I would easily pay a lot of money for the characters, and I know that there's custom groups that have done that are doing it.
Just like Robotech, when I was a kid, that was a big cartoon. I know there's Robotech statues out there. Silverhawks. I don't know if y'all remember that cartoon.
Oh yeah,
that was like my favorite when I was a kid.
I remember that.
I love
Silverhawks. Yeah, I used to love that.
They need to do several statues of that at the lot or something.
So, look at this, man. This is
what in the hell is that?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was either. I just thought it was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, that is dope.
That's art. That's art, man. There's no denying that at all.
Wow. I'm thinking about how many pieces will be broken by the time I get it.
Dude, look at the pieces. How did they get the pieces floating?
Oh, I saw this online. That thing was crazy.
This thing's huge.
Yes.
Like there's two different sizes, but the big one's like massive.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. How much was it? I don't remember how much it was though.
This one is, hold on me.
That other one would go good with the Batman Shogun.
This is $949 shipped.
That's crazy.
And it's massive.
If this was like
that's
look
the
at the tail, man. Damn, that thing is crazy. $940 shipped.
Yep, $949 shipped.
If this was one of like the lines that we collect, this thing would be like $1,900.
This back into the question. Yeah, why? I'm not because it's the same stuff, same material, same design. As a matter of fact, more intricate designs, more detail.
A lot of the same
crazy lighters.
Maybe because
we're spending like double or triple the amount.
Right.
So,
I guess
so when they bring these pieces to market,
You're cutting out D3. Still cutting out.
I know he's getting
Go
frustrated.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna get some better connection.
Okay.
This,
Yeah,
We hear
this
you now, though.
this looks great, man. This is
It does.
badass statue. For
This
that
one-
price, I mean, like I've seen some of these statues, man. I'm like, man, because I used to watch Dragon Ball, and I'm like, man, I should pick one of these up for that amount of money. It's ridiculous. You get
Yeah.
a lot.
I like that
Uh,
other piece that you showed with the one that I
Like
said was
the-
a work of art.
Yeah, the samurai or
Back of
whatever it
three?
was. Yeah. A
That
lot more
thing's
complex
it's
than it
crazy
cost.
cool.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is, but it just looks dope.
I know. That's how I feel about most of it.
This.
That thing, right?
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine displaying that with the Batman Shogun on horse?
Yeah.
Man.
Or that new sideshow one. They got the Court of the Dead where she's walking
Oh,
on that.
yeah. Yeah, this thing is nuts.
I don't know how you
I
get
would
the
love to
pieces
see-
floating in the air though.
That's just a render. I don't think this is
Yeah.
printed.
Yeah.
But this looks crazy. though.
That is printed. That's fully printed. It's already done.
Oh, Spec. I don't know if you guys caught the video today. They were doing some updates on their stands. I don't know if anybody's interested in these. They don't have prices out yet or how much weight, but they're going to have 3 different sizes of this coming out. So I don't know if anybody's interested in picking one up, but they're just working on them now. So
They look nice. I think
Yeah.
they'll probably cost a lot, though. I think.
normally how I picture things is if somebody offers me something and it's so great, but they don't offer me the price on it, I'm gathering it's going
That's
to be expensive.
probably a reason why.
Yeah. So when I don't see a price on something, I just assume, and that's just me, but I just assume that it's going to be super expensive. So
I wonder if you can have it like when you light it up, I guess so with me, I look at this, right? And I say I'm looking at how I would display it. For me, I wouldn't want the middle piece lit up. So is there
So how
something-
how they did it, why they did that was because they have the logos on them and it looks good with like the
Oh.
logo. And I thought about doing that, like if I bought this, like I would do like a logo, like an X, and put it right there. It would, because it looks like kind of just bland right there. But if you put like a logo, like an X, or like Magneto's helmet for like, kind of just display, like I think it will look a lot better.
I think the ones that I've seen, I think Todd had
Yeah, I
said that
just said it
the
on
middle
there.
part was like interchangeable or something.
Yeah,
Because
you
he
can slide
originally
them out.
displayed one that has spec. It says spec fiction in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you got at the bottom where the light shines through, you probably should put a curtain or something in there to keep it contained.
The thing that
Or
I
some
don't
sort of-
I don't like though, right? Like you see the Alita bust, like, and I don't know how they could fix it, but
You can't.
the
lighting
the light,
just comes from
yes, that's what I was saying. The light comes.
can't
from
see
under
Alita.
it. Yeah, exactly. You can't.
it casts a
see Alita.
shadow on her face.
Correct. I don't
Yeah.
know how that could be fixed.
Light's got to shine directly to it.
Some statues do good with under lighting and some don't.
Yeah, you'd have to have
One of
good
those
ambient lighting.
examples.
But I had a problem with this on an aquarium where the light was casting on the backside of it. So you've got to be able to block it out. See how at the bottom, how the light's coming through the bottom? Some people might not want that. So you've got to figure out a way to like put an L bracket or something underneath it to keep the light contained inside the pedestal.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that this is getting worked on, so they're probably coming out here soon. So, and then a little piece of news that came out. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Bus circling
I briefly
around.
read about it today. They added to the edition size. or
They
something?
added to the edition size, and I guess the edition size, there's no edition size, so it's just kind of blank. They can just produce however many they want. I think that a lot of people are complaining about that. So I just kind of wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it.
I think it's a smart move on their part, to be honest with you, because look at the price tag. So you've got to, it's made to order, So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go create a whole bunch of these and have them sitting on my shelf. If I'm a businessman, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you want it, you got to pay this much money, which is going to cover the capital of me making it, and then you give me my profit when I ship it to you.
Yeah.
So smart.
So one of the there's a post on it earlier. They said that so originally it was a limited edition size of 30, right? Supposedly they're doing 100 now.
Jeez.
Still really small. It's just a lot more than they were going to originally do. And then that's going to push the cost down from that much to about 2,000 to 3,000.
Oh, so the price is going down because they're making more.
That's what the post says. So
Mhm.
we'll see.
I don't know if I buy that part, but
So I mean, if you can knock off $1,000 off of it for being an ES of 100 instead of 30, I would do
yeah,
it.
but like, I mean, their production costs of it don't change just because they're making more, right? I don't understand it.
Yes, it does,
The
because
logic.
so you would think that more would be cost more, but a lot of times these factories, it's cheaper to produce more. In the long run, they're going to charge you more, but
Yeah.
but it's going to be less per statue, if that makes sense.
So
They do
what,
deals on
from a company standpoint, why would they not keep that difference? The consumer would know,
Yeah, they're going to make more money this way. Is basically what's going to happen.
right? But I mean, they could have not discounted it. People are apparently already paying $4,000 for it. So
Yeah, I don't know. More people wanted it, so I guess they're willing to make more of them. I know there's a lot of people that were saying, "Oh well,
that they would get it.
yeah, that this is wrong for them to do." And there's some people that in the comments are saying, "Oh well, welcome to the custom world."
Yeah.
Customs don't normally do this. They normally do a set ES and they don't go over it. Sometimes
Correct.
I've seen it to where they've gone
Make
over
like
the
a
ES.
couple more or something
Yeah.
like that.
For example, a lot of people were mad about that Magneto that you got, the RCB one.
Yeah.
They did that. It got really popular and sold out. Then all of a sudden they came out with a bunch of AP ones, like more AP ones than the actual statue
In the
itself.
actual setup that they had
Yeah.
before.
Yep. So there's more AP ones. So a lot of people got upset about that. That statue used to go for like a ridiculous amount of money. But
Really?
a lot of that brought the cost of it down, the worth of it down. So
I mean, hey, if it brings the cost down, it's legitimate and all that stuff. I mean, great. For collectors that pay less, I'm not gonna be mad about that.
yeah. I don't know. That was just a little bit of news that I wanted to throw. I saw this afternoon, this morning. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Let's see, one of y'all want to talk about something or anything y'all want to talk about? But
I'm gonna go back and watch that Magneto on Throne.
oh yeah, I've seen
That
it already.
video.
I've already seen it a couple times after we talked.
Man, that thing is just amazing.
Did either of you guys seen that new Aliens movie yet?
I have.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
Really?
Okay.
It was okay. There were parts I didn't like though.
Yeah,
So should I go to theater and see it, or should I wait till?
I think it's
For
worth
the
it.
theaters.
I think it's worth it.
yeah.
Theater.
Unless you got
Just-
like this bomb ass setup in your house, but I say go to the theater.
Yeah, the ending of it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
I have to check it out then. I don't know. I just been, sometimes when you get so deep into some movies, it's just like not worth checking out. You know what I mean?
Usually I don't root for the black
12.
guy to die, but on this one, I wanted him to die so bad. Please, from the opening credits, just die and let's just continue the movie without him.
yeah, but he's a pretty good actor though. I thought.
He
I
just
don't know.
annoyed me. His whole character just.
Well, that was
annoyed me.
the character.
I know, man, but it was just fucking annoying.
Nailed his role. He did.
But
It's pretty good.
Anybody got anything coming up or anything? I know Dion's got a Sentinel to put together somehow because he's gonna have to figure
Correct.
out how to get it together.
Correct.
'Cause,
I'm accepting applications for anybody that wants to come and help. But no, that's all I got.
got you. But you Matt, anything?
No, nothing. There may be a custom piece I may try to track down the aftermarket. But
Do
no,
tell.
nothing
Is it, is, it a,
serious.
is it a secret? Is it a secret, Matt?
No, it's not a secret. It's you know, I just it's
We might be able
vision,
to help you get it.
vision,
tell us.
the vision.
Oh,
I'm not
vision.
ready to buy it yet.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem. I mean, I don't want to go out. Once I say I'm looking for this or I want this, and then
50
You know,
people.
the
50 people
doorbell
are
will
here.
ring, and I'm not ready yet. You know what I mean? So I got.
Yeah, but if the offer's good, like I mean, you're not.
I'm
gonna
still
say
not
no.
ready. After 30 years of collecting, at some point, it's like I've had to watch really good offers go right by me just because I've had to be responsible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the hard.
I'm
You know
much
what? That's the
more,
hardest thing about this hobby is being responsible.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
The hardest part for me is patience.
I know, I got patience.
It's not one of my virtues.
Patience.
Yeah.
No, same.
Yeah, I'm not patient.
No, it's being like I've seen super great crazy deals, particularly now, but I'm like, I got other stuff that I know should take priority over this. You know what I mean? And
Congrats
if I
on
was,
being an
if
adult.
I was
haven't got
rolling in
there.
the dough like Arch or somebody like that, I could have 60, 70 statues just piled up behind me. That'd be cool, but I'm not. I'm not that.
I've got that. I still got that Colossus coming in, so I actually just paid the last payment and the shipping on it. So
Live unboxing.
I'll do a live unboxing of it when it comes in. But I think it's got at least a month from now. So
That'll be the next time we come on.
a month from now,
Sometimes.
sometimes. Stop pulling a Steve on me.
I know. Got to fill in the
I'm-
Steve
I'm
spot.
gonna start calling him sometimes. Sometimes he's on the show,
Sometimes.
sometimes he's not.
Sometimes he responds, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna call him.
You gotta call him Steve. Just change his name to sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, guys, like I said, it's already been a couple hours, so let's get out of here. Appreciate everybody for stopping by and talking some statues. Everybody have a good day.